Have you ever thought, I'm just too tired to go? Maybe I just won't show up. No one will miss me. Someone else will take my place. Contest chair, ladies and gentlemen, September 1965 was my first day of school. I was so excited to be able to show up. I had always been a sickly child, and on all the previous first days of school, I had been in hospital suffering from extreme seasonal allergies. But on this first day, the first day of grade 9, I showed up. It was a small victory, and they held a party for me. Well, and all the other new students. The band was playing, the cheerleaders escorted us into the gym, and there we were greeted by Mr. Guardhouse, the principal. He stood on the edge of the stage awarding school letters to the winners from last year's band members, athletes, and cheerleaders. He challenged all of us, each of us, me, to set our sights on earning the school letter so that I could be honored at this assembly next year. The girl standing beside me noted my interest, but she negated his comments with a world-weary wave of her hand. It sounds good, she said, but you can't get a letter unless you're in band or else on an athletic team. And do you play an instrument? I shook my head. Right, so even if you have all A's and you join every school club, you still need some athletic skill. She took another look at me and assessed our similarities. We were both overweight, short, sickly. She quickly announced her conclusion. I don't have that kind of athletic skill, she said, and from the looks of you, neither do you. And then she introduced herself. Michelle, newsletter editor. Well, it's not that I didn't trust her. I just couldn't believe that an offer would be made and then snatched away immediately. It's not that I didn't trust her, but I decided to do the calculations by myself. I discovered that Michelle was right. All the A's in the world did not equal the requirements to be on an athletic team. So I tried out for all the teams, but not surprisingly, there was no room for someone like me. We decided it wasn't fair. So we went to Mr. Guardhouse to complain. He actually made time for us, and together we went through all the criteria. And together we found the loophole. Everyone could participate in the intramural track team. And at the end of the year, for every event you entered, you would get 1 point toward your letter. The only difficulty was you had to place in at least one event. I started to practice immediately. I learned how to complete each track event. I learned how to toss a javelin. I learned how to shot put, to throw a hammer. I was terrible at everything. And every afternoon after school, I ran 5 miles. Well, I walked fast. And then I rested. And then I walked fast again, but I did it. I was so proud when I got my time down to 1.5 hours. On the day of the track meet, I showed up. I showed up for every event, and I came in last in every event, as expected. But then it was the 5-mile race, my race. It was a hot, humid day, and the run was the very last event. When I showed up at the starting line, I was alone. If I finished the race, I would win. I would get my letter. As I raced around the track, though, I could see the teachers disassembling the track meet. Occasionally, one would glance at me, trudging, walking, running, trudging around the track. But one by one, they disappeared. I realized I was taking so long to finish the race. There was no one left to record my win. My heart fell, but I did not quit. I was going to finish my race. It was only when I rounded the last lap that I realized I was not alone on the field. I felt a burst of gladness that nearly overwhelmed me. There, at the finish line, holding the ribbon marking the end of the race, were Mr. Guardhouse and Michelle. I won the race. I won my school letter because I showed up, but also because they showed up. Friends, any of us, all of us can be the hero of our own lives. Any of us, all of us can be the hero of someone else's. The first step is to just show up. Contest chair.